We had a Thursday night football game that was buried behind all the news that took place last night. But the Cardinals defeated the New Orleans Saints 42-34 in a very high scoring, finally, Thursday night football action. We saw the return of DeAndre Hopkins, who went 10 receptions, 103 yards. The game went as expected for him. Your overall takeaways from this matchup last night?
DeAndre Hopkins is great. DeAndre Hopkins is great. And DeAndre Hopkins is back. Throw him the football. Just throw him the football. He didn't have a lot in the first half. They were kind of still filling each other up. Throw the man the football. He's always open. He's got if you ever watched DeAndre Hopkins play, when he catches the ball, he runs with the ball like it's a tennis ball in his hand. Like, his hands are huge. It's great. It's going to help the Cardinals for sure. Andy Dalton, you can't have pick sixes. You can't throw pick sixes. And then we're going to look at this and say, oh, the Cardinals put up 42 points when so many of them came as a result of, Andy Dalton. The Saints are just a bad football team right now. We've said it. I thought they could get back on track. They couldn't. Arizona did end up winning. The injuries are piling up for the Saints. I honestly don't need to spend much time on this game. These two teams are going nowhere. Right now, they're just going nowhere. Maybe the Cardinals can get on a run with D-Hop back, but the Saints just have so many issues. You look at moments and in spurts, they look so good, and then it like falls apart. And like late in the first half, like Marquez Callaway or Kevin White, or I think that was Marquez Callaway.
Kevin White.
Ball just bouncing off his head. Kevin White had a nice play, man. What you talking about?
Yeah, I know.
Listen, they're just, both teams are bad. Both teams are bad. And right now it was a battle of who was worse. And last night the Saints were worse and the Cardinals got the win. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's interesting, the battle between Jameis Winston and Andy Dalton on who should be the real starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. And you look at the points per game under Andy Dalton, he's averaging 20-plus points per game for the Saints versus what Jameis did to start the season. Real quick on that side, who would you start at quarterback for the Saints?
Jameis?
Nope.
It doesn't matter. The Saints aren't good. It doesn't matter. The Saints are not good.
Okay.
But right. I would start Jameis. I think the upside for Jameis is higher than the upside for Andy Dalton. I think you can get more out of him. But like I said, I don't think it matters. I don't think it makes them a playoff team or anything like that.
All right. Well, that does it for our Thursday night recap. The Cardinals defeat the Saints 42-34. It's very unfortunate that the Thursday night football game was buried behind the Christian McCaffrey news, because it was finally a high scoring game and much more interesting than a 12-9 Denver Broncos.
Why do you think that? Like, the high scoring game doesn't make it more interesting. It wasn't that great of a game.
It wasn't, but it was very points. Just points. That's all.
Yeah, we're not casuals here, Vinny. We don't get to
fair.
just say it's like a baseball game that's 12-10, and we're like, what a great game. No, nobody can field a ground ball, or a hockey game that no goalie can stop any shots. They just run up down the ice and just slap it in the goal. Like, you're not excited.
That my friend is called the All-Star game.
Exactly. That's my point. It's not very exciting. Nobody wants
All right, that does it for our Thursday night matchup.